Hello everyone, my name is Chris and welcome back to another movie review. Today I'm gonna be reviewing Free Guy, and as usual I'm quickly gonna go through the story of this movie to tell in short what this movie is all about. Then I'm gonna share my own opinions and thoughts about this movie, so in case you didn't watch it, one big spoiler alert across the screen. And yeah, just click away from this video to avoid spoilers and come back after you watch a movie if you want to, guys. If you don't want to, you don't have to, it's totally fine. But if you really are interested in my opinions and thoughts about this movie right now, then stay with me till the end of this video and let's get started. Alright guys, Free Guy is a movie that's been released in 2021, and this is a comedy, action, adventure and a little bit of romance type of movie. So story of this movie follows an NPC inside of a video game. Now there is this very popular video game, it's called Free City, and it's an online RPG multiplayer video game where players have this huge city and they can role play whatever the hell they want. They can do whatever the hell they want. They can rob banks, they can pretend to be whoever they want, you know. It's just a classic RPG game. So there is a creative director behind this game. His name is Antoine, and he's main villain in this movie. Now the reason why he's a villain is because he stole the code for the game from other two characters in this movie. Their names are Keys and Millie. So Keys and Millie originally created this game not to be shooter, you know, aggressive, violent RPG where you can harm NPCs and all that, you know. Originally this game was thought to be something nice where people can hang out and, you know, all that, but Antoine stole the code from Keys and turned that into this game, into this Free City game. And now Millie is trying to find that code inside of a game, and in the game she appears as this character that she created. Obviously her name is a Molotov Girl, so that's her nickname in the game, and she's trying to find a code and where is it hidden in the game, so she can prove that Antoine stole the code from her and Keys to develop his game, and that way they can sue him, you know, they can shut down his game and all that. While in the same time Keys is working for Antoine and he is developing his game and working on the game because, again, he was the original creator of the code behind the game. Now there is this NPC inside of a game around who story of this movie revolves. His name is Guy. Simply, he just doesn't have a name. He is just a guy who works at the bank in this fictional world, and he goes to work every day to work in a bank. And every day he and a bunch of other NPCs gets bullied and robbed by other players inside of a video game and all that. And little by little, somehow, Guy becomes self-aware and he falls in love with a Molotov Girl, and she is a real player. Now things get very interesting when he becomes self-aware and he starts to behave like a real player, and everybody starts to think that he is an actual player in the game while he's actually an NPC whose code and artificial intelligence is so good that he just became self-aware, and he starts to level up in the game very quickly by doing good things instead of all players who are doing all the bad things. So he becomes hero in this game, and people start to love him, and everybody starts to talk about him, and the game gets even more popular. But that's where things start to kind of get off, because Guy falls in love with the Molotov Girl. Again, that's Millie. She is a real player, and she first thinks that Guy is actually a real player, but then she realizes that he is an NPC, and that's where Keys realizes that the code that he created for the game, which originally wasn't to be an RPG shooter, actually works. He created a code where artificial intelligence, or NPCs, AI, whatever you want to call them, in the game can actually evolve like real human players and interact with the real players in the real time. And Guy was actually success. He is the first NPC on whom that algorithm worked. And that's when he decides to help Millie to find evidences about Antoine stealing the code for the game, and Millie explains him that he is actually an NPC inside of the game, and that Antoine is making a lot of money in real world, and she tells him that the world that he lives in is not real. It's just a video game. It's just a virtual world. It doesn't exist. And that's where a lot of emotion starts to mix in the movie, and that's where Guy starts to feel really down. But then he has another NPC friend who gives him some motivational speech, and he decides to fight back and defeat Antoine and help Millie to find evidences about Antoine stealing the code for the game. And when they join forces, Antoine actually sends his kind of character that he created in the game. His name is Dude, and he's big muscular NPC who starts to fight with Millie and Guy in the game. So everything just turns into one huge battlefield inside of a video game. And yeah, that's where they actually join forces to defeat Antoine, because he wants to now shut down the game, and he doesn't want the world to know the truth that he actually stole the code for the game. So he just messes up the whole game for all the players. He even starts to break down the servers just to for the truth not to come out. And for the rest of the movie, they're just struggling to save this virtual world where Guy lives in. He realizes that if Antoine destroys all the servers for the game in real world, his virtual world in the game is gonna be gone forever, and everything's gonna be erased, and he will never exist. It's gonna be like he never existed. Everything will be gone, the game will be shut down, and he just fights back inside of a video game, and they're just trying to prevent his evil plan for the rest of the movie. And that's, in short, what this movie is all about. So yeah, it's kind of complicated to explain, but if you are a gamer, you should definitely watch this movie, because it's absolutely fucking awesome, man. This movie was fucking awesome. I loved every single second of this movie. Oh my god, this movie was genius. The idea was so creative and unique behind this movie. Guy is, by the way, played by Ryan Reynolds, and he has a lot of comedic quotes through the entire movie. There is a lot of great comedy. There is also a lot of emotional moments in this movie, which I was really surprised by. And the movie really delivers a powerful message, and it actually really makes you feel sad as a gamer for all the NPCs that we murder in video games. Like, if you think of it a little bit, like, these characters might not be real, it's not real. Video games are not a real thing. It's not a real world. You can do whatever the hell you want in it. But again, like, after you watch this movie, you're gonna think about killing an NPC in a video game again. Like, after watching this movie, I feel like I can't kill any more NPCs inside of a video game. I'm gonna feel so sorry for them. It makes me feel like they're real humans, and that's exactly what this movie makes you feel like. He becomes a self-aware NPC that starts to behave completely like a human being with emotions and everything. And he starts to transfer that to other NPCs, and before him, before he became self-aware, they were all just programmed NPCs having a few codes they're gonna say and things they do every day, you know, just like they are in the video games. They're programmed, they just do the same things over and over again. But it's not like that anymore after the algorithm starts to work and after the AI starts to learn. It is so deep. This movie has a really deep freaking message that was transferred into a gamer's world and showcased like in a gamer way. There are even famous Twitch streamers and YouTubers in this movie, and when the movie cuts back to real world where players are playing game in the real world, you can actually see streamers like Ninja, Pokemon, and YouTubers like Jacksepticeye and others commenting on the video game. And as the movie comes towards the end, you know, all players are erased from the game, and now you just follow Guy fighting the battle to save this virtual world and help Millie uncover the truth in the real world about Antoine. It's so crazy. There is an NPC in the game trying to resolve a real life problem. Like, holy shit, NPC solving a real life problem. How crazy is that? That idea was so unique and so great. I really like how they implemented like real Twitch streamers and YouTubers into this movie commenting about the game, and you know, it turns out like it's a real game, but it's not. It exists only in this movie. So it's so great in so many ways. The movie is so unique and so original. I loved it. CGI was on point, acting was on point, and yeah, the message behind this movie was on point as well. You know, there is a lot you can learn from these fictional characters in this movie. And, you know, I feel like, once again, fictional characters that don't even exist in this movie taught me more than real humans. That's just how this movie makes me feel, and that's why it's so fucking great and fun to watch. This movie doesn't get boring a single second. It's fun from start to end. Constantly. Something is interesting going on, and you just follow that NPC, and it's so crazy. At one point in the movie, they even erase his memory, and it's really like interesting the way they get back his memory, his algorithm. They try to destroy it because they realized, Antoine realized that he became self-aware, so he restarted the server of the game, so he lost the memory. And then Millie kissed him, like inside a video game with her video game character. She kissed a Guy, and he just remembered everything. And then that's where that love part of the movie starts to come in. And actually, Guy was programmed by keys. And what Guy tells Millie is that he is just a love letter to her from the creator, and creator was Keys. And through the whole movie, you actually realize that Keys was trying to tell Millie that he is in love with her. And in the end, she realizes that. And how fucking great is that? What a great love story. They combined action, comedy, video games, and love story all at once. All one gamer really wants in life is in this game. In this movie that is actually a game. It's so great. It's fucking great. I love this movie. Oh my god, you should absolutely watch it. I recommend every gamer to watch this movie. You're not gonna regret it. This was so fun. This was such a fun little gamer movie. Oh my god, there was so many great things about this movie. There is so many other video games implemented into this movie. There's so many different emojis from Fortnite and everything. At some point it's so cringy, but in the same time, because it's so cringy, it's funny. You can see like players teabagging NPCs in this movie, and all the things we gamers do in video games is just in this movie. And I feel like most people who are not gamers didn't even get some of this stuff. They didn't get the comedic part of this movie, where when like player is teabagging an NPC. I think people who are not gamers didn't understand this, but like there's so much gamer humor in this movie. It's fucking great, and I loved it. I loved every second of it. So, yeah, I think I said everything I wanted about this movie. It's really great. I totally recommend you to check it out if you're a gamer. This is definitely a must-watch movie for every gamer in the world out there. No matter the genre of the games you play, just freaking watch this movie. It's gonna be so great. Yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this movie review, then go ahead and leave a like, share, comment, or subscribe if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. It's totally okay. You can also join my Chris Facebook group. Link is down below in the description. I post all kind of stuff over there. Also join if you want. If you don't want to, you don't have to. It's totally fine. And before I end this video, I just want to say that from now on, all my videos are going to be in 1080p resolution in 60 FPS. Finally, after so many years, I'm switching to 60 FPS because the editing software I've been using for years finally added an option to export the videos in 60 FPS. I mean, it could have been done earlier always, but now it's just way more practical and simple to do. So yeah, finally Chris channel is going 60 FPS, baby. So yeah, thank you for watching. I appreciate all of your support and everything you've done for me and my channel so far. You're amazing, guys. I love you, and I'll definitely see you in the next videos. Chris out.